All right, we've got about 30 minutes. Oh gosh, we've got about 37 minutes to think about the youth services for the district. And Ian is very kindly going to go through the presentation for me. And we're trying to cover youth services, emphasize one or two of the issues, send information as to who is in charge and who and where to find information. Every youth service officer in every club is really a member of the team, and hopefully they'll get their secretaries to ensure that the youth officer is on the DMS, because I'd like nothing better than from time to time connect with them directly. It means that you ease the burden on secretaries and presidents who get the communications that you send out, if of course their names aren't there. So youth officers throughout the district, if they could get their names on the DMS, that would be very useful. All right, youth services is probably broader than we usually appreciate. And it covers what this slide is showing you. It's RYLA, kids, Rota Kids, Interact, youth competitions, youth exchange. And if there are significant youth projects in the district, then we offer our support. For some reason, I've got a black mark. There we go. So if you'd like to go to the next slide, we're going to, I believe, hand over to Gwenda for a few minutes, who's going to talk Rota Kids and Interact. Thank you, Gwenda.
Good afternoon, everybody. Rota Kids are inspirational young people who see no reason why we can't achieve all our objectives. Their innocence is wonderful, and we need to nurture our young people. They're not citizens of today, they're not citizens in waiting, they're our citizens now, they're our future generations. Rota Kids believe that everything is possible. They believe in peace and friendship, and that they all go hand in hand. Rota Kids can be community-based, or school-based, or youth club-based. So think outside the box. Think of cadets, think of brownies, think of youth clubs. Rota Kids are primary school age. It can be the whole school, it can be a particular year. I know of one Interact club, Rota Kids club in our district, that was started with a school environment club, which was an excellent idea, because these young people are already thinking of things that us grown-ups don't necessarily think about. The clubs are run by the school, with Rotarians being mentors. We do what they want us to do for them. If they want us to provide money, or whether it provides help doing things. Rota Kids are covered by the Rotary GBI insurance, but if in doubt, check with the insurance company if there's something that you potentially think might fall outside the insurance. If they're school-based, they're also covered by school insurance. Rota Kids' objectives are very similar to Rotary. It's to develop long-term citizenship, leadership skills through identifying and taking responsibilities for lifelong problems within their school, local and global communities. Learn the importance of respect, dignity and caring for all people by working together to build friendships, teams, and learn about the significant impact of their projects. Recognize the achievements and effects of completed projects that improve the quality of life for their school, local and global communities. Working with sponsoring Rotary members as facilitators, mentors and role models. Rota Kids is the youngest members of the Rotary family. And this family, we want to develop into interactors, Rotaractors and Rotarians. And not just them, but their parents, their teachers, their siblings, great aunt Mary, next door neighbours. They can all be part of the Rotaract family. There is the link to more information on the Rotary GBI website. You need to log in to the members area. Next slide. Oh, any questions about RotaKids? No. In that case, Ian, can we have the next slide, please? Interact. Interact, as with RotaKids, can be school-based, community-based. Again, it's thinking things like scouts, cadets, etc. They are a comprehensive age, so we are looking at 11 to 18. Again, these young people are potential Rotaractors, so remember, if they're going off to college and going off to university, don't just let them drift away. Find where there is the next Interact club for them to move on to. Or even if it's a school that doesn't have a sixth form and they're going on to a sixth form college, find where there's an Interact club in that area. Or if there isn't one, make one. What objective, is to give service. Interact clubs have to have a minimum of one community and one international project per year. Many Interact clubs would do far more than that. It's to encourage and practice thoughtfulness and helpfulness, build the rights and respect of others, build in recognition of the worth of individuals, develop personal integrity, advance international understanding, to promote the opportunities to gain knowledge and understanding of local and world affairs, demonstrate helpfulness and respect for others. The opportunities that Interact give young people, many of our young people are doing Welsh Baccalaureate in school. They have to fulfill community hours. The community hours that they do in Interact help to fulfill this aspect. Interact is an approved activity provider for volunteering hours for Duke of Edinburgh Award. So you can do one project which can fill your Welsh Bac, your Interact project, plus your Duke of Edinburgh project. So it's a win-win. Interact is slightly more formal than RotaKids, as in now the young people can be potentially, I won't say in charge of their own money, but their treasurer actually will work alongside adults controlling their money, looking after their money, keeping notes, having secretaries, etc. The impact on young people is to develop young people, build their confidence, become team members, leaders. It's working with people outside their normal peer group. It builds confidence. And also it's liked on their CV or their personal statement, as it's now called, when they go off to college, university, or looking for jobs. Teachers, youth or leaders, they must be committed. To give somebody the job because the headmaster wants an Interact club is no good. I was once told by an Interactor, the teacher must have charisma, which I thought was a wonderful way of explaining it. Ofsted inspectors like if you've got an Interact club, because it shows that the school is committed to the local community. It also expands the teacher and youth leader's CV. It fulfills the citizen and global awareness elements of the school curriculum. Whilst the school do a lot of the running of the club, a Rotarian must attend every business meeting. They can attend every meeting, but that is something for you to work between the school and yourselves. Again, the Rotarian must be committed. Somebody who's there because they're on the youth team, but don't really want to be there, is not going to be any good at all for any of us. The Interactors can help us with projects. Let's be honest, some of us have passed the heavy work. Our young people there to help us. Again, the parents, teachers, siblings are all future members of the Rotary family. Our interactors are also potential candidates for RILA, Youth Exchange, youth competitions, future youth ambassadors. We're recently very proud of our interactors, the Interact Club of Croeso I've probably pronounced that wrong, as they've been chosen to be featured in this month's Rotary projects around the world. We're very proud of our young people, and we know that a lot of our interactors do wonderful things. They can also be featured in this. So let people know what you're doing. And again, this is for more information about Interact. Again, it's in the members area. Any questions? No, that's me done then. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gwenda. That was excellent. And let's hope that we get a response. RILA is our next subject. Now, unfortunately, Rob is engaged, and so is Hayley today, so they're not going to be able to be with us. But Rotary Youth Leadership Awards is a very successful part of the youth services operation. We run ours at Story Arms in Brecon. One of the good things about this at the moment is that we've been able to get some young Ukrainians involved, and that was something we were particularly proud of. Also, it's been an exemplar organization and an event for the district, and other districts are now coming on board. Other cluster districts are looking to use RILA and join in the Story Arms family and getting on with it. So that's excellent news for RILA. Now, there's a very good report that Rob presented for the executive, the compilation report. So and that talks about the importance of RILA. If you want other information, hit the RILA button on the youth section of the website, please do. And you'll get all the information that you require. And of course, at the bottom of that page on RILA, you have Robert Fry's contact details, so you could get in touch with him. RILA is a really invigorating part of the youth services for the district, and I can't really talk it up enough. And when you get the invitation to join the open day, which will probably take place later in the year or early in next year's Rotary year, do get along to the Story Arms and spend the afternoon there. The cakes were quite good as well, so I can encourage you to do that. All right, we'll have the next slide, please. A big part of the Rotary Youth Services is, it's called youth competitions. This year, I think it's fair to say that we were almost back to normal. There's a few tweaks, I think, that we need to be making in some areas, but the youth competitions are back on board, and we were managed to have representation in most competitions that are run for ourselves, district-wise, and for RGB&I. These competitions fall into two categories, and the young musician, Youth Speaks Welsh, and Young Chef make the other face-to-face competitions. And they're very popular in all levels, from club level to area and district and beyond. So get your club to consider seriously having a club competition, and with the winners of those competitions going on to the area competitions. The opportunities these give to young people are amazing. And you meet some fascinating youngsters when you get involved with these youth competitions. There we go. All the details for those we'll come to in a second. The please do change the, yeah. The non-face-to-face competitions, these are in some senses easier for us to get involved with through the local schools. They run into 3 sections: junior, intermediate, and senior. So you can start off with a junior school just as much as a secondary school. So, and these young artists, young writer, young photographer are club and district competitions. They don't necessarily have an area competition. We've had quite a small take-up on these competitions, so we could do with developing them a little more. But we have had these promoted to district, and from district this year in young artist and young writer and young photographer, the standard was wonderful, and we are awaiting the results of the national finals. So hopefully we will have somebody representing this district in the accolade brackets of those 3 competitions. The Young Environmentalists did not run, but there is an opportunity for some work to be done there, and we have now identified possible volunteers in the district who might help to promote the Young Environmentalist. And we always are open to technology, which used to be run, I believe, in the west of the district in the past. Thank you. Come to the next slide, please. There we are. The Bible of information is on the website. And the web page for youth is easily identified by the blue. If you go on your phone, because I should imagine that a lot of people research these things while they're stuck in front of the television and playing on their telephones. If you go on the telephone, you have to scroll through the whole of the page, right the way down to the bottom of the home page, and they're right at the bottom. On your PC or on your laptop, they are usually on the right-hand side. And these buttons will give you all the sorts of information that you require in general terms. And do hit the blue buttons in the text, which gives you the all the background, the safeguarding stuff, the general rules, how to the policies for the treating of children, etc. All that good, that background. And for each competition, the particular information. It's quite important that you use the current stuff. I know what it's like. You download, you put in your file this year's competition information, open your file up in October and think, oh, I've got that information. They're all under constant review, and there are differences each year. So from July the 2nd, hopefully, the current information will be on the website. And so I encourage you to go to the website, and if you're interested in a particular competition, read the general information, download the competition information, and follow it to the letter. Perhaps you'd like to change my slide again, Ian? There we are. This is this is the document on the website, which is important. It's the timetable. Now, wouldn't it be nice to be able to have a timetable absolutely complete at the opening of the year? But it doesn't happen like that. We hopefully will have, we now do indeed have, the national competitions. And they're going to be on the weekend, I believe, of the 20th, 21st of April 2024. The task then is to have a reasonable distance from them backwards for the cluster, as was the regional, and the clusters, which is something that we are trying to get to terms with at the moment. It's worked out very well. We've got through everything, but sometimes the district and the cluster competitions were a bit close together. But that's something that needs to be sorted out at the cluster competition level. But those cluster competition level dates will be published on the timetable as soon as they are known. And the district are in our own control, and so we are going to be setting those again with a view to being a fair distance, 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully, from the cluster competitions. The great debate about when we should be having our club and area competitions will go on. And I know that there have been difficulties in the district about starting those competitions early in January or before the end of January to get the area competitions up and running. It's not something that we can find very easy. But talking to educationalists, the best time to start talking to a school about the initial competitions is in the summer term, so that they can take place in the autumn term, which may be a move from the past, where we tend to go in the autumn, in September. But perhaps an earlier start might make life a bit easier. But there you go. Next slide, please. Can we have the next slide here? Thank you. The other information on that timetable, as you will see, will be contact details for the lead individuals at the different stages. Hopefully their telephone numbers and their emails will be published. The district organizers will be there, and in a separate table below the timetable will be the area organizers. The area organizers are those good people who have volunteered to run the competition in all the areas. Sometimes I don't get to know who they are, which is, and who appoints them? This is where we look to the AGs to find the bods who are able to run the competitions in each area. And if we can have each area organizer for each competition in that table, it makes life a lot easier for people who are trying to get that information. The important thing to realize as well, and I've done it with a double asterisk, these are populated from time to time. They're not populated immediately. Thank you, Ian. Who organizes the competitions? There we go. Club level, the youth officer or a service committee. In the area, it's that individual Rotarian I spoke about a little earlier, usually supported by the club and sourced by the AG. It used to be the AG's job to run the competitions, apparently, but now it's the AG's role, I think, to actually get the individual to run and the club to support the competition. And again, at the district level, we pray for Rotarians. There we go, who are willing to run those competitions. And there are a few gaps, so we are looking for some volunteers. Thank you. Next, Ian. There we are. So please join the team. If you're a youth officer in the club, you are a part of the team. Don't remain anonymous. Let me know who you are. Get onto the DMS so that we can actually contact you easily. And then volunteering in an area where you are interested or you have a little bit of experience is an invaluable Rotary asset. And if you're asked, please do jump on board. Next. Finally, as far as the competitions are concerned, we've had a very good year this year as far as successes are concerned, which we would like to congratulate those who were involved with. We had a very good young chef cluster competition in Cardiff, and thanks to Caroline Bassett, I've done it wrong, but she did work very hard on that, and I think she's in the meeting. So thank you for that. And we had some very successful youth speak candidates who took the national prize up in rugby, and we had an excellent entrant into the national music competition. We were very, very well represented, and we can be proud of the fact that we're giving all these young people, from the masses in the club competitions to the individuals in the clusters and the national competitions, a platform that helps them in an enormous and an invaluable way. And it keeps Rotary in the public eye. Thanks ever so much. I'm going to hand over now to the youth exchange, and then after the youth exchange, any questions and answers. Thank you, Ian. So Eric is going to talk about youth exchange.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Youth exchange is run as a multi-district involving all the districts in GB&I. We take part in the international camps and the short-term exchange program, but unfortunately, we're currently unable to take part in the long-term program because of visa problems. Next, please. We have in a good year, we have about 90 camps. We're getting back to normal. It was stuttering last year, but we're getting more camps now. And we're next slide, please. And as you see, this year, we have 12 candidates who wish to go on a camp. This is getting to the normal for an average year, but the problem is the majority come from one school. We'd like more participation, more people to be involved. Next slide, please. We're down now onto the family to family. Next slide, please. This is organised where a young person is paired with a young student of their own age and similar interests. This is done by our coordinator at the multi-district. And although it may seem a difficult programme to be involved in, so many young people wish to come here that we often are unable to cope. We can send our students out, but we don't have enough to be able to entertain all the ones who would like to come here. Next, please. Our cycle runs over 2 Rotary years, and this is a little bit of a problem. We need to raise awareness in July so that by the time our website opens for registrations on the 1st of September, the students have made their mind up, and I like to encourage them to apply as soon as possible. This means that they are in the system, we can get the interviews completed, and they are ready when the adverts start appearing towards the end of December. Next slide, please. Next. In 2017, we held a camp in our district, and the youngsters came from all over the world, from the East Coast of America, California, across to Taiwan, including India, and 13 European countries. And there'll be many Rotarians attending today who were involved with clubs who hosted at various events. And I'm sure that they would all tell you what an enjoyable experience it was and how impressed they were with the young people that came. And all these young people had a very good command of English. And this is where our young people have an advantage when they go to a camp, because to go to a Rotary camp, you have to have English to a certain level, so that, and as a native English speaker, it makes that first problem of meeting and discussing things with and making friends much easier. Next program, please. Next slide, please. We did stutter last year, and only one of our applicants actually took up a place. But the best recruiting agents are the young people who've gone on the program, because he's going on a program again this year. But it really is time that we reciprocated the hospitality that we have received from our friends abroad. Next slide, please. We have within district a ring fence fund to help us to start to pump prime a camp. And I would love a club or a group of clubs to come together to run a camp, so that we are giving as well as receiving in this program. The main aim is to recruit young people in the 15 to 17 age group. The earlier the better, because they then become our best recruiting sergeants. And if you would like any more information or any more help on any of these programs, please contact me and I'll do my best to make things move in your club. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.